everybody, and welcome to Comically Offensive Podcast. This is episode 10. Today, it's your boy, it's Austin, and we've got 4 people right now. If Connor joins in late again, I'm going to flip out.
He won't join.
That's true. But I would like to introduce to you Jacob.
Ayo.
Jen.
Hello.
And our new friend, Chelsea.
New friend, that's me.
So welcome, Chelsea. This is the first person that we've ever had that wasn't one of the main 4 on the podcast.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, pressure's on now.
This is our first guest appearance.
Thank
besides
you so
Skittles.
much for having me.
Welcome.
Oh my god.
It is our honor.
It's nice to have another girl here.
I know, I was
This
thinking
is
about
true.
that. You're a real token in this space, Jen.
I know, right? Finally, the rich white girl is a token in a group.
I actually brought that up in the Sims recording, which I can talk about because we talked about it last episode.
Uh-huh.
When I was doing the character creation, I was talking about how me and Jen are the tokens because I'm the racial token and she's the gender token.
Well, now
Ew.
you guys both got a twofer.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
This is true. So, tell us a bit about yourself, Chelsea.
Well,
Who is
Let's
Chelsea?
I don't know. Some might say I'm a little bit spooky. Others might say just an adult woman doing her best and failing miserably in Austin, Texas. I'm a producer for Rooster Teeth, mostly. Sometimes other things.
What's that?
That is a production company. It's a production company that's based in Austin. We do dumb internet videos and sometimes smart internet videos. And then I do a weekly live stream called Let's Gay. You guys should check it out. It's pretty fun.
Twitch.tv/letsgay.
We'll link it in the
Twitch.tv/Let's
description.
Thank you. Yeah, we just talk about all sorts of stuff. Have like party games. Everybody can play along. It's real fun.
We've mentioned it on the podcast before, but that stream is how we all met each other. Specifically
true.
Comically Offensive.
That's
but even,
true.
like, obviously how we met Chelsea.
And look at where we are now.
I know.
know,
And now
right?
you guys have surpassed us in almost every way because we've been doing Let's Gay for like 2 years at this point, and we still can never get our shit together. We never do it on the same day. We never have a schedule. I have to text Max, my co-host, to remind him to even tweet out that we will be streaming at all. And then it's like all of a sudden you guys invite me like to come be on your podcast. And I'm like, you guys have a podcast? What? I don't even know how to podcast.
I remember the attempt at the Let's Gay podcast too, boy.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, that was
Wow.
funny.
I still believe in that idea, but it's just a matter of
Yeah,
being able
just,
to get everybody together.
Fire Max next time.
Yeah. But you all work like really different jobs, and you all have like adult jobs and like adult responsibilities that I'm not saying that we don't have that, but we have just a little less of that because we're younger. So it makes a little more sense that you guys, are a little busier
This
and
fucking
don't always have
phone's going
time for
off.
that kind of stuff. Well, it's not my phone, Raptor.
God damn it.
Austin, excuse you.
It's
Sorry.
the same. I mean, to be fair, I realize that when we're editing, we interchange what we call
Yeah.
each other every 15 seconds.
Oh
See,
yeah.
like, the thing is, I called Jen and Connor, but, like, it's just so hard to call you Austin. I don't
You
know
called
why.
both me and Connor.
Yeah.
you,
It's interchangeable.
I like
Yeah.
the idea, especially
You know
since
what I
like
mean.
especially since like he comes and goes. I like the idea that Connor is not a set person, but just like an identity that can be assumed on the podcast by
Pretty-
everyone
Like,
pretty
I'm
every
much.
today's
time.
Connor.
Like while you're
You
being
are
a
actually
real
Connor
Connor,
right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a way of life.
That's fun.
Connor's the title we give to whoever has the worst audio in the episode, and they keep it for until we record the next episode.
And it
That's
just
fair.
so happens that Connor usually earns that title.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
true.
He's got to stay on brand.
It also helps if you're wearing Vans.
This is true.
Yeah.
Oh, I brought that up too. Like, I was like, yeah, Connor wanted Vans for his sim character. And then I was like, going through shoes, and I go, I realize right now, I don't know what Vans look like.
They're like one of the most popular shoes in America.
I think I fucking pay attention.
Yeah, that's true. You do have a special taste in shoes, as we've discussed before.
Yeah, we
very
posted a
true.
picture of my shoes.
You have
on,
a
like,
special taste in shoes.
yeah,
Uh,
Oh,
if
he
you-
wears
If you looked at my feet during any of the times we saw each other, it would have been a nightmare.
Yeah, he has
They
some
look like
very
something-
special shoes.
Yeah, they look like something you would get for somebody that doesn't have the capability to do anything with their own shoes.
Like,
What does
it's
that
basically
mean?
She's just trying to say that he looks like he's in a special class in school.
Yeah,
Aw.
trying very nicely to say that.
Yeah,
No,
I get Jen.
I don't want to say too much about it because we talked about it in one of our previous episodes pretty heavily.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
About my shoes. They're called Puma discs. They're metallic purple and teal,
Oh,
Mhm.
and
Sweetie.
instead of tying them together, they have a thing in the middle that you twist, and it doesn't really work that much. So I just use them as slip-ons.
It's
But
disgusting.
they look atrocious. They look atrocious, and I like them because they look so bad. Those aren't the ones that I wear, but that's the same model.
Yeah.
I'm so frightened.
Mine aren't the same color, but they're the same model.
We had a whole episode talking about like shoes and stuff.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I demand to be catered to.
The link dump I had to make for that episode was just so
It
many
was
shoes.
just pictures of shoes.
Well, I remember as the episode was going, though, I was looking up a lot of them and just dumping them in the chat because I
Yeah.
was like, why not?
Wow.
But
I mean,
yeah, that was-
live your truth, I
that-
suppose.
Yeah, I talked about it during the Sims thing, which I'm referencing a lot, even though it'll come out after this.
Yeah, it'll come out like March next year.
These
Yeah.
fucking
No,
shoes.
the Sims pre-episode will probably come out before the year ends, and we'll probably do the series sometimes after. Anyways, but in that, I was talking about how, like, a lot of people think, like, that shoes are a very, just, like, important part of everyone's attire, and that, like, you can... Like, I've heard a lot of people say that you can tell a lot about a person based on, like, the shoes they wear. I just, like... The shoes are what a lot of people I know... A lot of people, like, let their ties or their, like, their belt buckle or, like, their socks be the crazy part of them. For me, it's the shoes. Like, the shoes I just go insane with. Like, my dress shoes are purple crocodile skin shoes.
Oh my god.
And that's what I wear to weddings and shit.
And then there's me who just wears running shoes and flip-flops, basically. Sometimes I wear boots and sometimes I wear heels, but usually, like, that's usually on, like, a once monthly basis, honestly, at this point.
I like shoes, but it's like I have such wide feet that I can never find shoes that actually fit me. Because
Don't
like
brag about it.
like Vans, I'd have to get size 14 or something, but most regular shoes I wear 13. But then eventually the sides will just like tear in half because my feet are too wide.
Like you Hulk out
Jacob
of your
can't
shoes.
wear Vans. He needs a bus.
Well, I
Yeah.
don't like Vans either, because they don't hold up anytime I get, like, I wear the crap out of my shoes, that's why I usually wear running shoes, because you can beat those up a lot more. Like, anytime I get a pair of Vans,
Mhm.
I always wear them out within, like, 2 months. It's just, I don't...
Connor's not
Yeah.
even here to defend his Vans.
I think we actually talked about it before, too, where I was like, yeah, I can't wear Vans, they don't hold up when I wear them, and he was like, you just need to get, like, a different pair, and I was like, they just don't work
To
with
be
me.
fair, people that buy Vans and are like really into them have about 100 pairs of Vans.
Yeah,
That's true.
So Connor,
Yeah,
Kind of
pretty much.
culty.
I'm more of a Converse girl anyways.
I'm more of a Puma Disc kind of boy. If anyone wants to
Jesus.
if Puma Disc would like to sponsor us,
Yeah, send us free pairs, please.
hit me up. Yeah, Chelsea, how does it feel knowing that we're just like you're on an episode of the podcast and we're talking about shoes?
I don't hate it. I feel like I don't know, I guess I walk in a funny way because I will inevitably, like after 3 or 4 months, wear a hole in the sole of my shoes in the exact same spot every time in every shoe.
hmm
Wow.
Every flat shoe.
Huh.
And so I just stopped buying expensive shoes because I was like, this is stupid. And so I was going to say my ideal shoe is the shoe that costs $10 at Target.
Yeah.
And that's my truth. And that's just like the shoe cult that I fit into. You guys
Yeah.
can be with your cons and your Puma discs, which oof, I'm really in the weeds with that. I know you don't want to keep talking about it because you're duplicating your content, but I've got to let you know that it's gonna be on my mind for the rest of this recording.
I'll send you a picture of the actual Puma discs that I wear after we're done recording, and then we can discuss those.
The little bit of respect that she had for you was just immediately wiped away.
What respect did you have for me?
I did. I'd love to say for the record that I didn't.
Yeah, that's completely fair.
Well, moving away from the topic of shoes, here at Comically Offensive,
Yeah,
we
we
have
need
a little
to-
debate, and we haven't done it in a while because it's just been the
Uh-huh.
three of us. We have a little debate called Brick versus Tornado, and
Fucking Bricknado.
yeah, Bricknado. Sadly, there's no Bricknado fan art yet, which I am a little disappointed about.
I know,
But-
that's the one thing we asked for, and the fans haven't delivered.
All those two
Exactly.
people that listened. Come
I
on.
know. One of those two should get to drawing, is all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
hmm
So, Austin, how about you go ahead and describe it since you're
I will
the
explain
father
what
of the
Bricknado
argument.
is.
He's the best one
I
at
did-
explaining it.
Because I did come up with this idea.
Yeah.
I came up with it just sitting in bed one day. Like, I officially came up with that. I've honestly thought about this for years. But I came up with this, like, last year, just sitting in bed, like, fully. So what the argument is imagine a tornado. Nothing too special about it. It's in a flat, open environment, as tornadoes usually form in. And what you do is you get a brick that
Sure.
is, I'd say, 20% wider, longer, and taller. It's 20% larger in all dimensions than the tornado.
Okay.
I would just say it's like a scaled up brick. It's like
slightly
huge.
scaled up brick.
Oh, yeah,
it
just
doesn't even have to
slightly.
be-
Just slightly.
Yeah,
Just a little bit.
slightly scaled up to where it's slightly larger than a tornado, so that when we drop it, which is what we're going to do next, it can fully cover the tornado. What the argument is, the brick is completely full. It's covered. It's not hollow. It's made of a solid material that will not break when it hits the ground.
It's made out of brick.
And it just
Yeah.
kind of appears on
Um,
top of the tornado. Don't worry about the logistics of
Yeah.
how it gets
Yeah.
up there
What
and
people
all
like-
that.
You see, here's the thing.
The hand
What
of
people like-
God.
Yeah, God
Pretty
puts
much.
the
I get it.
brick up there, God guides it down. What people
Uh-huh.
like to fucking argue, some people on this podcast perhaps, is that like the tornado outspeeds the brick or something. No, it doesn't. It lands dead on. That's the implication. Anyways, the question is, what happens when that falls? What happens? What do you think, Chelsea?
Okay. Let me just work through this real quick. So
Mhm.
we got a little spinny, and it's spinny, and it moves, and it's like, ooh, I've got a lot of power, but I'm air, and I'm moving, and I'm
It
spinning.
does.
And then you got
Yeah.
big, thick brick, and it comes straight
Mhm.
down. And
It is a
straight down.
pog of a brick.
It's a pog of a brick, and it's ooh, woof. And so, what I would think, like my gut reaction, is that you drop this brick and it displaces the air in a really quick way in all directions around the brick, and that air displaces. So, like it would displace like north, south, east, and west going out, like parallel to the ground, and then would quickly reform into its little spinny and keep going, and the brick would remain on the ground.
I agree. I think the tornado wins.
Is that
No,
the
I
tornado
think-
winning in that situation?
I mean, it's alive.
Yeah, if the tornado survives, it wins.
Yeah.
In what?
Yeah, that's-
Well, yeah. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. In what universe would the brick defeat the tornado? I can't even conceptualize that. The tornado is just
That's what
air.
I think will happen. I think it just displaces the air, and that's like, it's kind of like whoosh, and we don't get any mini tornadoes. The tornado's just kind of like gone after that.
Yeah, that's what me and Jen think. Like it would displace it, but then the elements that were required to keep the tornado in place will be so thrown out of whack that it really won't be able to do it again.
Is the tornado
Hashtag Team Brick.
sentient?
What's up?
Is the tornado sentient in any way?
No,
No.
it's just like a moving straight forward in a path.
Yeah, it's just out there.
I guess
Um,
No, I still think that the tornado would reform. I still think the tornado would reform because the weather conditions that formed the tornado would still be present, like the
This is
air
true.
pressure and stuff.
But if it makes a new tornado, the original tornado's already dead.
It's
No,
it's the
I
same.
That to me
No,
is getting
I-
into
I will-
anthropomorphizing the tornado a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll agree with. If that were to happen, I would say tornado wins, even as someone who is on brick side.
Uh-huh.
I think that the displacement would change those elements so slightly to where that it wouldn't be able to reform, because you need quite a relatively precise concoction to make a tornado.
Wow,
And
fucking
I
tornado expert over here. That doesn't seem fair,
I'm
but
fucking
fine.
not a tornado expert. The reason that we have this discussion is that we don't
We
know
have
anything
done
about
the
tornadoes.
math for this in the past.
We have, and we still
Yeah.
haven't fucking gotten anywhere.
Yeah, we're kind of idiots sometimes.
I mean, I'm terrible
No.
at math, so
Yeah.
Oh,
I can't
do
remember
math for
exactly what it was, but last time we talked about it, it was about 6 seconds that it would take for the tornado to get completely out from under the brick dropping.
I know, which is always your fucking argument. That isn't part of the issue, Jacob.
that makes
I-
it sound like the tornado can just like be like whoa underneath
Okay.
the brick.
Well, that's just the tornado going in a straight line.
Yes, but you drop the brick in front of it, so it's under it whenever it falls.
Or I theorized
well,
that
I'm-
the brick kind of just like follows the tornado, and that the tornado
Yeah,
doesn't move
it's
out
a
from under it;
sentient
it just kind of
brick.
smushes.
No, you said yourself the hand of God, bitch.
Yeah, but the thing I'm saying is that from the point of impact where the brick hits the tornado, for the tornado to move far enough that it would be out from under the brick, regardless of the path of the brick, unless it's just like hovering, following the tornado, then it would be like 6.5 seconds.
Well, tornadoes can be like stationary.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so like a tangentially
That's a
related
completely
example. No, but
To be
like
fair, one thing I want to bring up is that we have never, before this podcast, we have never discussed the trajectory of the tornado
That's true.
in detail. So that can be something that we can throw into the argument, and that changes it up slightly.
you mean
I'm
like the
assuming
path
that-
in which it's moving?
Yeah, we've never discussed like the path of the tornado. We only discussed like the habitat and all that stuff.
Well, I don't think
You
the
really
path
haven't brought
matters.
up-
Like, I'd like to think that for like the ideal scenario, like the ideal Bricknado scenario, the tornado is not really moving; it's just kind of there. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
but
just kind of
tornadoes move.
stationary.
It's
If
what
the
they
whole
do.
point-
Sorta.
If the crux of the thought experiment is that that no matter what, when the brick falls on the tornado can't like just evade it, then I guess it wouldn't
Yeah.
necessarily matter the trajectory because you're only
It's almost
focusing
as
on
if
that
a
one
newcomer
moment.
can
Yeah, you're
fucking
focusing on the
understand
one
this,
moment.
Jacob.
Okay, here's why I think the tornado would reform, and it's a tangentially related example, but I think it's something that maybe we can all kind of it's like a universal experience, which is like, you know, when you're like a child and you're taking a bath and then you let all the bath water out and it forms like a little vortex as it's going down the drain. So like as a child,
Yeah.
I was obsessed with that, and I would often take my hand and like push through it like to see if I could destroy it, which is very similar. It was similarly larger than the vortex, my hand, to what we're saying with this theoretical brick. And so I would like push my hand through it and see if I could stop it, and it would all stop. And then the minute that I took my hand away, the conditions were still the same, and the vortex would just reform exactly as it was.
But the minute you took your hand away, like
The brick doesn't go
the brick
away.
is on the ground. It's on the ground when it's on the ground.
Yeah, it's on the ground when it's on the ground, but okay, so now the trajectory does come back in play, because now it's still it was always gonna move, and it's still moving, and those conditions are still the same. And so whatever conditions were propelling the tornado down a path are still there. And so it's just gonna the air's gonna get displaced, and then it's gonna reform on that trajectory.
I do want to bring up though that tornadoes often fail to form in like mountainous or like large city areas because shit blocks it. I think
So
when
if
you
the
throw
brick
the
is
brick in the
blocking
middle
it-
of that area,
Well,
it stops the tornado and then prevents it from reforming because there's a fucking monolith in there.
I think it depends. I don't know.
You
Because
depend, bitch.
Are you dropping? Oh, this is important. So you know how a brick is like rectangular, so it has a long side and a short side. I've been assuming that we're dropping this down so that like essentially the long side is parallel to the ground. Are you
Yeah.
guys imagining dropping it so that the short side is parallel to the ground?
I'm
No.
assuming that you know how like a tornado is basically in the shape of like a cup, right?
Yeah, kind of.
We're basically like setting it up to where the brick is like matching the same size as that. You know,
so
like
then,
to
so
where
then you're
like
dropping it. So then you're dropping it
the
with
tall
the
side
short...
of the brick.
So like imagine dropping like an iPhone on like a a soda can or
Yeah,
on
like
or on
it's
the narrow part
horizontal.
of a beer bottle.
The
maybe.
tall side of the brick is parallel to the tall side of the tornado.
Oh, okay. So
What?
in that case, that's different.
no, because then
That's
Wait, we're
Yeah,
dropping
but
it
then-
down vertically?
yeah, if you drop
Yeah,
it
that's what
vertically,
I'm
then
saying.
it's way bigger than 20% bigger on certain dimensions.
Why the fuck is it way bigger?
What?
Because I'm
Oh.
saying like to have the height, like if it's horizontal, the biggest flat surface is 20% bigger than the like circle of the tornado. But if it's vertical, then the smallest surface is 20% bigger than the circle of the tornado.
What? I think
Yeah,
it
but I'm
is.
basically
No, I
saying
follow
the
you. I
brick
follow
is-
you. Fuck these
The
other
brick
guys.
isn't
I
a
get what
regular
you're saying.
brick. It's made to the proportions of the tornado.
I'm imagining the brick being like as tall as a tornado.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's as tall as the
If it's
tornado. and
vertical,
about
if
as
it's
wide.
vertical, it's as tall as a tornado.
Yeah.
And it's probably about
It's
as
about
wide.
as tall as the tornado and about as wide as the tornado.
Yeah, but if in that case
I thought it was
the brick would be a
bigger.
lot. Yeah, if it was vertical, the brick would have to be a lot bigger to cover the tornado than if it was horizontal.
What does that mean?
Like,
Listen,
I want to
got
just like
this.
draw this
I
out
got
for
this,
you.
and I have an announcement.
Uh-oh.
I'm switching sides. I think that it's the brick destroys
Ah.
it. If it's going down vertically, the brick
See,
destroys
I think
it.
I just think having it vertical is a completely different argument, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I think here's the thing. I think if it's flat, I think if it's horizontal, there's basically no argument. If you get a basic an indestructible by the tornado standards, piece of fucking I'd just say wood or something, and it's flat. If you crush the tornado with a massive 2x4, except it's the size of the planet, you're gonna get rid of it. And we've brought that up before. Basically, there's little wind flurries that you see all the time. They just whip up the leaves. If you stand in the middle of it, it stops. Granted, the bigger ones don't, but if you were big enough to stand in the middle of the big ones, it would stop. So the question isn't that it wouldn't get rid of it. I think it's safe to say that it would get rid of it. But if it's a giant, if you hit it with a board, it's gonna get rid of it a lot quicker and a lot more destructively. I think the vertical way sets it up to where there is more of an argument. If you drop it horizontally, it's just gonna flatten the tornado.
Well,
Yeah, I've
no,
just
but-
I've just been imagining the horizontal way, but now that you mentioned the vertical way, I'm just I've been team brick since the beginning, but now I'm even more team brick.
Yeah.
See, the thing is that imagine it horizontally. Then here, I'll just put this drawing I did in the chat.
Oh my god.
Because to be
No.
fair, my original drawing that I did had the brick vertical.
Yeah,
Okay, I have
did
that
it?
somewhere.
It did. It did.
'Cause I know
that's how I set it up.
So
What the
that's
fuck?
a horrible that's a horrible drawing. I just did that in 10 seconds, but that's just showing that if it's horizontal, then it's gonna be
Oh my
such.
god.
If it's
That is
horizontal,
100%.
it's such a smaller object than if it's vertical.
Yeah, I knew what you're
Yeah.
saying. You were saying if you drop it horizontally and you want to keep the same conditions, which is that it's roughly 20% larger, it would have to be massively, massively larger.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
But I was under the
So-
assumption that the vertical one was what we were going with anyways.
Well,
I
I thought we
mean,
were
I've
talking
been
about
s-
horizontal at first. If it's horizontal,
Yeah,
I'm
I've been-
Team NATO. If it's vertical, I'm Team Brick.
I think that's fair.
And that's fair.
Yeah.
And I'm
Interesting.
comfortable with that.
See, I honestly, and this is great. I wanted to bring a new variable into the into the discussion. We did it on our own. That's
Yeah.
fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Got to get that new perspective.
See, we cleared that up. We're getting closer and closer to getting a definitive model and definitive system to where one day we can test this with a giant brick.
Yeah. I'm not 100% on either side until I can see it in real life.
We're gonna drop it from the space station.
See, but then we'd have to do the math to figure out when to drop it and where to
See, that's
aim
the thing.
it.
If we're famous enough to get it on the space station, we do not need to do shit.
Yo, Elon, can we talk to you,
Oh, that's true.
Mr. Musk?
We can
Yeah,
convince
right? Get him
Elon
to fund the
Musk.
project.
Hell yeah.
God damn. I never realized that there was differences in the orientation. I assumed that was a given.
Well, I'm glad that I
Yeah.
could come in here and shake things
Thank
up
you,
for you
Chelsea.
guys.
I feel like that was too civil of an ending.
Those two civil.
It was,
You wanted
it
to
was.
scream.
Oh, we'll have
Yeah.
more.
We need to
We need-
recut that. We need more screaming.
Yeah, we need
We're
to
gonna need
just
more
put Skittles in.
Seeing more fucking screaming. The cat's yelling again.
In the future, there will be more discussions. We'll get the scientist on board one day.
One day we need someone who's actually a physicist and
A meteorologist.
a meteorologist, ideally, to get both of the conditions that we need to
The thing is,
solve
Chelsea,
this
that like
mystery.
this is a discussion that we've been having for a very long time.
We've had it since this summer.
July.
And it just keeps evolving into like different things. At one point, we were talking about whether it would work on a Sharknado. Like, what would happen to that?
That's
And
stupid.
then, like, if we had a
Yeah.
shark brick versus the Sharknado.
Yeah, like a brick made of sharks.
I think
that was probably the dumbest part of it. One that I think was pretty different that we were discussing. Like, what if it was made of different material?
Yeah, the brick.
Yeah, and then what if the tornado, right, was like a water spout?
Mm-hmm.
What if?
Those were two variables that we introduced.
Yeah. I could see there being like a threshold. We can call it Chelsea's limit if you like. I mean, that's just like me. I could see there being a
Good suggestion.
threshold
Okay with
of weight at which the brick would not drop and it would just become part of the tornado and spin. And then you would have an actual Bricknado, which is what I thought you guys were talking about when you first asked me to talk about this with you.
Yeah, you joke, but we're gonna make that movie someday.
It's gonna happen.
I have faith. You guys are so organized, as I've discussed.
That would be a nightmare, though. Imagine like a tornado swinging something around that was the size of it.
Oh
That's
my
what
gosh.
I'm saying, though. But it's like, yeah, it's like
That'd be
once you like
terrifying.
if you can get below Chelsea's limit, and again, that's just a name that I'm floating out there. I don't know, but if you can get below Chelsea's
like
limit,
it.
like if it's made out of like styrofoam or something, then yeah, you're gonna have a big old Bricknado.
That could actually be the name of the movie.
Chelsea's limit.
Chelsea's Limit.
I was thinking actually, like, what if the brick was like made out of like wood, but it was hollow, like it was like wood put together.
Well, it would just like collapse when it fell.
That would just tear it apart.
Yeah, it might.
No,
Yeah,
what
it
I'm
would
saying
collapse.
is that could probably get lifted by the tornado though, and that could
Yeah.
probably do some fucking damage to shit.
Oh man.
I could be into that.
One thing I brought up, and that they shot me down pretty quickly, but I think it's like still possible.
Okay.
What if, like, could you possibly pour like an amount of a small substance into a tornado to eventually stop it? Like, could you take a like god-sized bucket of gravel to stop a tornado?
I think
It
that
would-
would just
it would just
create
pick
like
it
a
up.
mega
It
tornado
would
with a
just
bunch
pick
of
it up.
gravel.
I know,
Yeah, if it's a
but, like,
small trickle,
there's-
the thing's just gonna get
I
bigger.
mean,
There's enough to where it can't hold anymore, and something's gotta happen.
Like it's too heavy, you mean?
Well, like, eventually, like, the wind won't be able to hold that much. Like, if you put more gravel in, that it won't be able to contain that much. Like, basically, once you fill up the tornado,
I like
once
to
it's all full, like...
I like to imagine someday like an actual like climatologist will listen to this and just like weep and be like, I can't even trace a coherent like scientific
Yeah.
idea.
the
through
thing
what's
is,
happening.
we've tried looking into it online and see if anyone's had like discussions like this.
No one actually has.
Not even on like Yahoo Answers.
Yeah.
Nope.
I googled tornado and it says people also ask what is meant by tornadoes.
I'm like, what?
People are dumb.
What do you
What?
mean by this?
Oh my
People are
god.
great.
Like we're dumb, but then people on the internet are like even more dumb.
That's fair.
That's true. Like, you'll never be as dumb as the dude who cemented his head in the microwave.
Oh, that was
True.
the worst thing. That was
Ah.
awful. You know, I used to work in an emergency room, and I totally felt for it. People got really mad that the fire department weighed in and said, hey, this was real shitty of you. People got mad at the fire department, and I was like, no. I worked in emergency services for a long time, and I can tell you, it is infuriating when you're surrounded by, like, 99% of people who are having the worst fucking day, like, of their lives, you know,
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah.
And then you have one idiot who's like, yeah, I didn't realize there was a difference between a dildo and a butt plug, and now I've got something lost in me. And it's like,
Oh
yeah,
my
dude,
Sorry,
God.
Chelsea. Okay.
you gotta have a base, and I told you that. You gotta have a base. Because an anus sucks in.
God.
Oh man.
That's why anytime I have to go to the doctor or when I was in the
Yeah.
ER after my car accident, I was just nice to people the whole time. I was just like, you know, the only thing I was like kind of whatever about was that I had to go to the bathroom and they were like, you can't. We don't know if you have a broken like neck or not yet. And I was like, I will like go through whatever injury that it will like I don't care if I get injured going to the bathroom. I'm not going to see you guys. I just really have to go and I can't use a bedpan because I get like pee shy. So I was like, just let me pee, please. Like, I'd already been there for like an hour. So I was like, I just really have to go. Like, please let me go. And they did.
Not to be Well, and I'm glad that you're fine, but not to
Yeah.
be team emergency services again, but the injury that they were worried about you having was paralysis from the neck down. So that was
Oh,
probably
yeah.
why they were real intense about it. Because
Yeah.
you can
I
have an
was just
unstable
like-
fracture that you don't know you have.
Yeah. They like wheeled me to the bathroom. The nurse put me on the toilet. She turned away. I was able to reach and wipe without like moving my back too much, and then she had to put me back on the wheelchair and wheel me back to my room.
Oh no!
And the thing was, I was like, I can do this. I needed a toilet. I couldn't do a bedpan.
There are rich people out there that would pay for that experience, Jen.
That's
I
true.
know, right?
You just take it for granted.
I know, right? Make the insurance company pay for it, I guess.
Just record it. And make
Okay,
the rich people pay
so
for
I
it.
looked up frequently asked questions about tornadoes,
Oh no!
and for the question, how do tornadoes dissipate, the details are still debated by tornado scientists.
What?
Nobody
It's
knows.
a mystery.
People, it's just like the dinosaur speeds all over again.
Oh my god.
Oh no!
Oh my god.
Which
Nobody
I don't think
knows
I've brought up on the
anything.
podcast, but I just want to do a quick recap. There's been like a debate, not a debate, but like me flipping out in our personal Discord server like for like the past, I'd say 6 months, about how one time I was bored and tried to do some research into dinosaur speeds. Turns out no one, and I mean no one, fucking knows how fast dinosaurs were at all.
Oh, I know. I think they were like bitching fast. That's my theory. They were like
Oh, yeah.
constantly moving, high speed. Cannot stress enough the speed. It was like what was that movie with like the snail that was like real fast? That was
Turbo.
that was like based off of like what we know about dinosaurs. They were like, what if there was
God.
one snail that was as fast as all dinosaurs were back in the day? And people were like, "This is a
Dang.
fucking brilliant ass idea, man." I was bitching.
I like the idea of like Chelsea saying that like all dinosaurs weren't the same speed relative to size. They were the exact same speed as each other.
Yeah.
So like there were like these tiny things zipping around, but like
Yeah.
T-Rex was chasing them at the same speed.
I
Oh
love
man,
it.
I'd watch that movie. As long as Jeff Goldblum is in it, of course.
Yeah.
He plays the T-Rex.
Ooh.
So, Austin, on the topic of dinosaurs, did you see that recently they found like a dinosaur tail preserved in amber and it had feathers on it?
That wasn't recent. That was like last year.
Oh, it was? Oh, never mind.
Did you see it on Reddit?
I think it popped up on my Facebook post or my Facebook feed or something.
Because I saw today that like it popped up on Reddit and that was like
Yeah.
a Today I Learned thing. So I was like,
It was
that
probably
happened
Reddit
like a
then.
year ago, but thanks. But no, they did find that, and like it was like from a small thing. I'm not shitting on you, Jen. I'm shitting on whoever
Yeah.
found that and made it like made it
Relevant
news
again.
again. Yeah.
Fake news.
It's also
No.
funny, like, on the topic of dinosaur speeds, we also don't know what, like, dinosaurs, like, looks like.
Yeah, we do.
Because we don't know how much, like, fat or anything they had on their bodies. Like, we don't know what they look like. Because we just kind of basically put lizard skin over their skeletons and we're like, that's what it looks like. But,
I'm only about the thick dinosaurs.
It only
I thought
to
they
be
were all
fair,
thick.
TBH.
without going into dinosaur nerd too much, it depends on the species. Because some of them we know like exactly what they look like because they like left like impressions.
yeah.
There was that one actually they found years ago, like 2006 I think, that they found completely mummified, and like we know like what it looked like to the T.
Holy shit,
And
that's
like
cool.
like some of them we
Know
can
that.
tell like even like I forget what the method is, but they can tell the colors now of certain species. And that's pretty
What?
cool.
I didn't know that. That's so awesome.
Yeah, there's this one. I believe the first one they did. I don't know if they've done any after that. I know there's been one after that. I don't know if there's any more. The first one they found was it was basically colored like a tabby cat. It was orange with white stripes, and it was like a little tiny raptor looking thing.
That's so cool.
And the second one was like a little beaked dinosaur that ran around on like two legs, and it was colored like camouflage with the leaf litter. It was like camo brown.
So have you guys all seen the new Jurassic World 2 trailer?
I did.
I haven't seen it, but what I have seen is like my roommate and her boyfriend just making like really like horrified sounds at the TV while they watched the trailer while I was in my room, and I was like, I looked out there and they were like, "Oh no!" So I'm assuming it's not good.
It was not. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good by a trailer standard.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
it wasn't bad.
Well, the issue was after the trailer was released, I tried to look it up and I like couldn't find it on YouTube. It was all like trailer teaser, but instead of a trailer teaser, it would just be them introducing the trailer, and I was like, what the fuck? Where is the actual trailer?
Yeah, I feel like it was kind of a disappointing trailer just because they hyped it up so much.
They did.
It wasn't
was
a
annoying.
great trailer. Like, the thing, honestly, the behind-the-scenes trailer, the thing they released, like, about, like, the behind-the-scenes footage, was much better than the actual trailer.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I ended up watching, because, like, I think it was that I ended up watching instead of the actual trailer, because I couldn't find the goddamn trailer.
That one was better, but the actual trailer wasn't bad. It was just, like, not... I'm gonna go into a little bit of a
The
rant.
editing of the trailer itself wasn't great, though. Like, it was oddly paced, and, like,
They
cuts
just
were
picked-
kind of weird.
They intentionally picked all the scenes. I think it was the co-director tweeted about it. Tweeted about how they only picked scenes from the first 50 minutes of the movie because they didn't want to spoil any of the second half.
Mhm.
Like, they want to keep that under lockdown until the basically like release or like later on. I don't know how long they're going to.
But of course you're going to figure it out.
Oh, I'm gonna figure it out hard.
Well, it looks like to me, it looks like they're going to be moving all the dinosaurs to like another location.
They are.
And there's
That's already
probably going to be like an escape while they're moving the dinosaurs, or right after. Like,
Then
it's
they
going to be
drop
like
them on the
Jurassic Park.
tornado.
I was
With
just gonna say
Jurassic
that,
Park
and then they
3.
fall in a tornado. Ooh, I'd watch that movie, and then they get dispersed.
Dino Tornado.
No, but then they get dispersed.
They actually already the leading theory of how the dinos are gonna how the transporting is gonna get fucked up is that someone's going to steal them.
Oh, probably.
Oh,
That's-
that
I
would be
would
such a
steal a dinosaur.
stupid move.
That makes
That's-
sense, though.
That's the leading theory on Jesus Christ. My cat won't shut up. I'm gonna kick it.
I heard it.
I'm gonna kick him. I swear to God. Except I won't because he's on the other side of the door, so he's safe.
Don't kick him. Pick him up
no,
and hold him in your arms like the precious animal he is.
Then he'll just yell into the microphone.
Simply
the whole time.
because I can't.
That's true. You're allergic to him. You don't
Yeah, I mean, my arms were like... It's that time of year where my skin just hates everything that touches it. So I put Tiger Balm on my arms, and they were just like bright red, and I was like, great. That's fun.
Anyways, so, yeah, my thoughts on the trailer are, they basically only put in what they wanted to because they didn't want to show the second half, which, you know, was fine, but it made for a pretty disappointing trailer, because it was basically just one scene with some stuff taken out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe they did my favorite dinosaur, Carnotaurus, so nasty, but whatever. It was honestly, like, I appreciate it, though, because it wasn't like it got hit by a meteor. It's like T-Rex took it out, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Um,
Honestly, though, I don't like Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt, really.
I like both
Like
of them.
his
You can-
people?
Well, I like them in other stuff. I just don't like them in Jurassic World at all.
They're fine.
I didn't
like
love either of those characters in that first one either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just... They felt so unnecessary. And the
Yeah.
kids, too. I hated those kids.
Oh yeah, the kids.
Oh my
fucking
God, they were so
sucked.
annoying.
I'm glad they're not in this one.
Good. Yeah. I hope the movie starts with them getting eaten.
I'm not going to say it's rare that I want, like, you know, that there are annoying child characters in a movie that I would be okay if they died in the movie, but, you know, that, like, the kids in Jurassic Park, I just didn't like. It was like,
Yeah.
like, annoying
mean
kid
Jurassic
characters
World?
that are there to appeal to a younger audience. The original Jurassic Park kids were better.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
It's like it's a big shoes to fill because those kids were great. They were solid. They were
Yeah.
running through that
Mhm.
kitchen. They got it all done. They were like hanging off the side of the Jeep, and they
The
kept
Jell-O?
they kept their shit together. Yeah, they had Jello, and these kids, man, they sucked.
Like, you could tell that the kids in the first film were genuinely getting traumatized. Like, they played that, like, or not genuinely, but, like, you could tell that the characters were getting traumatized. But, whereas in the second one, it seemed as if the kids would probably just go home after and be like, yeah, this was my cool vacation. Like, it didn't feel like they were getting traumatized as much as they should have been.
I only watch movies where the kid actors get PTSD.
It's like, I'm pretty sure it's a dead Twitter account now, but have you guys seen the Twitter account that's like set up as like the grown-up version of the boy from the original Jurassic Park?
No.
I haven't.
It's like, it's great because like three of it, like it'll be like every 3 tweets are relatively normal, and there's one just like dropped my coffee on the way to work today. Dinosaurs tried to kill me when I was 10 years old. and it's I fucking love it. And like every so often there's just a tweet just about that where it's just like like sometimes I just lay in bed and think about how I actually almost got murdered by dinosaurs created by my grandfather. That was pretty great.
And then the part where he was
Crazy.
electrocuted on the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that part.
Mm-hmm.
My hand still shakes sometimes.
Oh. Yeah, it's like a very specific trigger.
But yeah, the Twitter account it's just great.
I thought you were talking about like the kid actors, because I think about that all the time. Like kid actors who are in like action movies or horror, especially like horror movies, or like any kind of like Oscar bait super tragedy drama nightmare stuff. Like how do you sit down? How do you sit down with like your 7-year-old and like, okay, Billy, so in this scene, your mother is being viciously raped by the man who's kept you guys in a room for like 7 years. Oh, you don't know what rape is? Okay, well, I'm going to get your mom in. Y'all are going to have a little chat. We'll circle
Let me
back.
just go get Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, let's go get Kevin Spacey. What? No, but you know what I mean? Like, that must...
Yeah.
Well, like,
yeah.
Not something I would relish doing as part of
it's
my job.
like, for The Shining, they didn't tell him it was a horror movie the whole time.
Aw.
Yeah.
And he thought it was like a rom-com or something.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
he didn't see the movie until he was like 18. He's like, oh my gosh, my memories are so different.
You guys might be too young for this, but did you guys ever see a movie called Monsters Ball? With
No.
With Halle Berry.
with Halle Berry, yeah.
Mhm.
Negative.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those movies where it was like, hey, Halle Berry like doesn't look as hot as she normally does, so, and she's gonna scream a lot, and there's gonna be a lot of bad stuff that happens. So like, where's her Oscar? And it was that kind of vibe, and it was just like tragedy after tragedy. But a big part of the movie is that she has a son who's played by an actual child who's overweight, and her character constantly like berates and ridicules and mocks this child for the way that he looks. And I remember I watched an interview where she said that she sat with like that kid before they ever started filming and just had this whole conversation with him about how beautiful he was and how like beloved he was, and that this was a story about somebody who was like really hurting, and this is how they like but she took that time because she was so freaked out about the idea of screaming in a kid's face. And I was like, yeah, I don't know that I could do it. Like, seems like real hard.
Yeah, it's got to be rough.
But good on Halle Berry for doing her best, and bad on me for bringing up a movie that like is not topical. It's from like 20 years ago.
One thing I want to talk about before we move on about the Jurassic World trailer. I was me and Connor had a discussion about it in Discord very recently. Like the day the trailer came out. The only thing I'm really worried about, like, because I'm one of those people, like, I'm a total Jurassic World apologist. I think that was a good movie. I didn't think it was, like, at all. Like, it wasn't Jurassic Park level. Like, it wasn't, like, the original, obviously, because, like, I don't really think you could get there.
Yeah, but isn't it like a little in your wheelhouse, though? Like, are you the most objective person to decide whether or not Jurassic World was watchable?
Hush.
I think it was an entertaining movie. Like, I think that...
Chelsea.
And I don't think it needed to be anything more than that.
What?
You should ask him how much he's spent on Jurassic World merch.
Hey, how much did you spend on Jurassic World merch?
I think it was 1,065.
What? How do you even have that much money? You're like a baby.
I know, right? That's what I wonder. He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy all of the new Jurassic Park movie merch, and he has like a bunch of Godzilla merch, and I'm like, got pizza and it was $5 and I cried about it. That's because all my expendable income goes towards food and martial arts, so I really don't have a lot of money to spend on other shit.
That's fair.
Spending money on food is the worst.
Oh,
and the thing is, like,
food.
My metabolism is really high because I do so much martial arts, so that means I just have to eat more food, which means I have to spend more money on food.
Anyways,
everybody's like bragging about your high metabolism.
I'm starting to feel like you guys invited me on this podcast just to like subtly make me feel inferior in all sorts of ways, where you're just like, yeah, we're just like really young. We have like the biggest feet ever and the highest metabolism ever and thousands of dollars to spend on Jurassic World merch. What do you have?
Man, I have so many Tinder matches.
You have a fabulous cat, beautiful, luxurious hair.
Are you guys talking about me now?
Wonderful job, yeah.
Guys, I don't know if you know this, but I am over 6 feet tall.
Oh
You are.
my
You're so
fucking
tall.
God.
It's great. Literally, I went to RTX and it was just like everybody was taller than me, and I was like, oh, I am average height, but I feel so short.
We're about the same height, Jen.
Not me.
I'm also just like, yeah, I was like, also like, oh man, everybody's gonna see how skinny I am in real life. It's gonna be great.
I talked about during, again, going back to the Sims episode that I just filmed. Well, the pre-episode, rather. I talked about how Jen is one of the few people I've met who is thinner than me.
Yeah. It's like, it's genuinely hard for me it took me 4 years to get back to my pre-college weight. Like, it's really significantly, like, I'm skinny to the point where, like, it's, I know, like, I'm sorry, words. Like, overweight people that have a lot of difficulty losing weight, I have that difficulty gaining weight, and, like, while it is nice to be skinny, people always think I'm unhealthy.
Just eat a sandwich.
Like, anytime, like, you know, sometimes I meet people that are doctors, and they're like, are you healthy? Are you eating right? And I'm like, yes, I am. Like, trust me, I am. I eat, like, all the time. And it's,
Jen,
you know...
stop lying about your anorexia.
Shut up. It's like... Yeah, it's like, you know, it's honestly, and, like, sometimes I see a picture of myself, and I literally look like just, like, a skeleton. And it's really disconcerting, because it's like, you know, sometimes, you know, I look at my face in the mirror, and I'm like, yeah, I've gotten, you know, I've gained weight. I'm, like, back to my pre-college weight, which is great. But then I see a picture of myself, and I'm like, why do I look skinnier than ever before? Like, how? Like, It's, you know, it's
Well, you always,
difficult.
you always see
sometimes.
yourself in a different way, because, I mean, I've seen pictures of you, and I've seen you in person, and I've never once thought, like, ooh, I'm worried about her. Like, you just look like a slender woman. I think
that
you
about
look
Austin
unhealthy.
more.
Yeah, no, Austin, I'm so scared.
What?
Yeah, I'm scared on so many different levels. He's just gonna fall apart. He's gonna fall right through the crack of a wood floor at any time.
Oh, man.
No, I'm still grateful. I remember we were at the Let's Gay panel at RTX. Raptor had, like, half a sandwich, and I was really hungry, and he gave it to me, and I was like, thank you, and I just demolished it. It was like, you see the sandwich, get ready to say goodbye to the sandwich, because it's gone.
Anywho, back on what I was saying about Jurassic World before Jacob got me onto a tangent about how much I spend money, and then Chelsea went onto a tangent about how we're all better than her. Anyways, her words, not mine. But the only thing I have an issue with in the new a movie that I've read a thread about how there's a possibility they can do it right, but I'm worried they won't. They've put in, I believe, at this point, there's going to be more dinosaurs, specific species, in this movie than in any other Jurassic movie.
Ooh. Now, you know what I would watch? No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
What would you watch?
Well,
to be fair,
it just gave me an idea. I'll circle back.
After me. No, but to be fair, my issue was it was in that one scene from the trailer that they introduced all these dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So what I'm worried about is, like, what I brought up to Connor. Like, the dinosaurs from the original movie, the villainous ones, the trio, the Spitter, the Raptors, and the T-Rex. They were all dinosaurs that, you know, were carnivorous, were, for all intents and purposes, villains or anti-heroes, depending on how you want to set it up. Considering they were, like, animals and not actually, like, out to get anyone, really. Like, they all did different things, despite the fact that, again, they were all in that same area. T-Rex was, like, big and massive, and it was, like, destructive. It wasn't really after any one person. It just wanted to wreck everything. The Raptors were, like, very smart, very manipulative. They were, like, specifically after their prey. And, like, the Spitter was just, like, a very, like, very calm, very normal-looking thing, and then flipped the hell out at, like, one random moment.
It was like Skittles.
Basically. What I'm worried about in this film is that, like, they've introduced Baryonyx, Allosaurus, and Carnotaurus, which are all medium-sized, again, carnivorous dinosaurs.
And we all know that, and that's the thing that we all know. And go on.
But which is why I told you that. What I'm worried about is that these three, they're, again, all very medium-sized. They're similar size. They don't really have any special features as far as I've seen in the trailer. I'm worried that they're going to do the exact same thing. Like, they're going to be minor threat to the protagonists for the next couple minutes, and then they're going to, like, do the exact same thing and, like, really not have anything new to bring to the table.
I think the biggest thing they're all going to do is just, like, die.
This is true.
Yeah, what I'm worried about, because again, what I was telling Connor is like, in the scene where Nedry crashes the car and gets killed by the spitter, in the original movie, granted they went off the book where he gets killed by the spitter in the book, but they still could have had him get killed by a raptor, and the same effect would have happened. It would have been like his own doings screwed him over and got him killed in the end.
Yeah.
Like it would have had the exact same effect. But they went with the spitter. He was different. They decided to put a different dinosaur species in the movie. And they made him, like, unique. Like, the whole way about how he interacted with another character was very different from a raptor. Like, the raptors, like, don't really like to be seen, which the spitter sort of portrayed at first and then got more courageous throughout the scene. And then, like, the raptors just, like, go for it, they're done. That thing spent, I think the scene's like 2 or 3 minutes long and just staring at the guy before it finally does something. And it let the scene have a very different tone. It very upplayed it. It turned it into something different other than like it's another raptor in the kitchen scene. It's another raptor taking down Muldoon scene. They made it something very different, which is what I'm worried they won't do for like these other dinosaurs in this movie, since they're just adding a shit ton that aren't going to be just background dinosaurs.
Gotcha. Now let's circle back, because I had a brilliant idea.
Let's hear it.
The first time that you said there's going to be more dinosaur species than ever before. All right. Imagine this. This is my pitch, even though this movie is already finished. What if we rebooted? And I'm talking about us. Let's get this IP. Let's reboot the Jurassic World, Jurassic Park series, where it's like Planet of the Apes, but the new sexy Franco Planet of the Apes, where the dinosaurs become sentient, like or just one of them is like real smart. And Blue, yeah, there's already a real smart one, so we get Blue, and she's like, yeah, it's fucking time, and we're gonna take it over, and it's gonna be Planet of the Dinosaurs again, and they reclaim the planet for dinosaurs, and they like systematically hunt us down and destroy us. I would so watch that movie.
That would be really interesting.
I would watch that movie.
You guys obviously didn't read the script for what was going to be Jurassic World, because Chelsea,
was
you
that the
just
one where it was going
described
to be in
it.
space?
That was a bit different.
It was heading in that direction.
Yeah.
It was basically the script for what was going to be Jurassic Park 4, not Jurassic World, before they just rebooted the franchise entirely, was going to be, it felt like a James Bond film from what I read. It was like, basically like action hero soldier guy goes in with and this is what they took from that movie and turned into Jurassic World. He had like a team of dinosaurs that he was like set to control, and they were all raptors. But like, that's where it deviates heavily from Jurassic World, because like these things were basically like soldiers, and like practically weaponized. And like they knew like commands and everything, and like they were set up, like he was basically recruited by the villain to like perform all these like he was like gonna like basically the leader of the dinosaurs, like a group of 4 raptors, and I think it was 2 spitters as well. And then like they did like covert operations, and like obviously one of them goes wrong, and then it's like, oh, these guys are actually the bad guys, blah blah blah. And then the dinosaurs basically go like, yeah, all that mind control shit you did on us, we was faking it, so fuck you guys. And then they just like went rampant, and then like
I love
it was basically, again, I assume it would like basically set up a Planet of the Dinosaurs sequel.
Some of the
Planet
like,
of the
designs that they
Dinosaurs.
had back then were so weird.
Oh yeah, because I don't think that was for that movie specifically.
Yeah, that was early Jurassic World though, right?
It was early for that same movie, yeah. Yeah, with the dino-human hybrids.
Those are so creepy looking.
It wasn't early for Jurassic World, but it was early for, again, Jurassic Park 4, before they rebooted into a second trilogy.
Yeah.
But yeah, the concept art's been around for a while. It's basically like dinosaur-human hybrids was the plan for the next step in the series, where they were going to make it was like, it's exactly what it sounds like raptor humanoids, triceratops people, T-Rex people.
Yeah,
they look atrocious. They look horrifying. which granted, it would have been like they would have looked completely intentionally so, like they did a good job in designing them, but they look terrifying. And I think my feelings on those are about the same way about my feelings on the Jurassic Park 4 that I just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see that movie. Jacob just posted some of them into the chat.
I'll put them in the link dump too.
I would love to see both of those movies. The issue is, it's basically how I feel about the Godzilla 1998 movie.
Yeah.
That movie is good because it's a Godzilla movie, but it's a bad Godzilla movie. I think, like, because basically, if they had made that, like the one that I described, like the James Bond one, as, like, just some independent people that weren't associated with the Jurassic series, and it was just its own movie.
What the fuck? I just
yeah,
looked at the
terrifying.
dinosaur concept.
I know,
What
right?
the fuck is that?
They're so odd.
But if they had, that's my final form, actually.
It's gonna haunt my dreams.
I'm so frightened, but I'm gonna look it up too.
It's
Yeah.
in the
It's in the-
recording.
It is?
Okay.
I don't see that. Where?
Huh?
Oh! No! No! What is... It's like...
Yeah.
Its tail is like a reverse dick. Like, I hate that so
There was
much.
actually going to be a scene where he fucks Chris Pratt with it.
Oh!
I could honestly
She.
see. I could realistically see that coming out of the like the Last of Us series.
Oh, like that
So,
one
like,
movie, Splice,
Oh, yeah.
where like the
Oh.
monster turns into like a dude and like has sex with a woman, and then she
Oh,
gets
yeah.
pregnant with a baby.
Oh yeah, that thing.
I thought
I'd
I
purge
thought
that
it
from
had
my
sex
memory.
with Adrian Brody that was like, it's like Daddy Maker, and it was like, who
I think it had sex with
wanted
both of them.
this? That was a movie that no one wanted. It had sex with Adrian Brody, I am pretty sure.
Someone had a bizarre fetish.
Yeah,
is all I
it
gotta
like
say.
seduced Adrian Brody as like a girl, and then it turned itself into a boy, and it raped the lady scientist, and then she got pregnant with its baby, and kept like it looked like she was keeping it at the end of the film.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It
Again,
was weird.
someone had a very weird fetish and had a lot of money.
Yeah,
But what I was saying is, like, I would love to see those Jurassic movies, even if they were made like as an independent project, as a different thing, not in the Jurassic franchise, just like with that exact same script. I don't think it would be decent or like as good, even if it had like the same quality, just because it isn't associated with the Jurassic title. Like, again, like how the Godzilla 1998 movie feels to me.
Yeah.
Like, the whole reason I like that movie is because it's like a crazy reimagining of Godzilla. Like, it's nothing what the rest of the Godzillas have looked like. It keeps the fact that he's reptilian, very big, and has spikes, and that's completely it.
Just like how they're reimagining Godzilla to be a plant based
yeah,
creature.
Again, like, you're taking out one of those key steps, and eventually you go way too far. And then you make him a plant in the latest anime.
I feel like it's a good idea, like in spirit, but I don't really think they.
I think it's a good idea in spirit, but one that's impossible to execute.
Yeah, I don't think the execution looks very thought out.
Yeah, I don't think Swamp Thingzilla is
but
in the end a good idea at any.
you do have,
Anyway.
because I've been talking about this with friends a lot. The new Guillermo del Toro movie, with The Shape of Water, where
Mhm.
he deliberately
That's the
wanted to make
mermaid
the
one.
monster sexy. Like, he wanted to give it a nice ass.
It's real buff. It's a real pog of a water monster.
All right, here's the concept: that movie with the Raptor Man that we just posted from
Oh.
Jurassic
Oh.
Park.
It's a real different kind of movie.
No.
It's a real different kind of movie.
No,
It's a real different
Why?
vibe.
No, that would
Why?
Jesus Christ.
no.
Have you guys
Yeah,
already
even
discussed...
Skittles
Go
is
ahead.
totally just disgusted by it.
Yeah, Skittles
Yeah.
is yelling.
Yeah, see that? He's like, what are you doing in there?
What are you doing in there? Have you guys already
Hey,
discussed
don't kink shame,
the,
Skittles.
the nightmare, or the just like the terrible, terrible idea that is the dark universe?
Yeah, we actually haven't discussed it, but
Yeah.
like I know about it.
Because I feel like the Shape of Water sexy monster, like he'd fit right into that dark universe concept, but it's also just like, who asked? Like, who needed
it's
this?
like the creature
Yeah.
from the Black Lagoon if it was hot.
Yeah, but like real sexy. Like a real sexy dude.
I have kind of like a hot take but
I need to hear this hot take.
I don't
the
think
regular creature from the Bach Lagoon is hot.
I don't think Guillermo del Toro is like super talented.
Wow, that's a hotter take than I was expecting.
Yeah, like
I
I'm
know.
genuinely just not interested in seeing The Shape of Water.
What does Guillermo del Toro do?
He
did he
did
Weird shit.
Hellboy, Pan's Labyrinth.
Never seen that.
It sounds
what
like,
was,
honestly,
what was that Tom Hiddleston one he did? That sucked.
hearing all those
I hated
movies
that.
together, it really does sound like, he's got a kink.
Probably. Oh, he was the Elder McPoyle in Always Sunny.
That's true. That
Oh
was
my God.
what a strange cameo that was.
Yeah,
I haven't gotten that
amazing.
far. I'm like season 8 maybe.
Well, they're about to take it off Netflix.
I'm so
They
excited about that. I
haven't
don't
taken
even
it
want to
off
talk about
already.
it.
I think
Actually,
it was
that might be today.
I think
I think it was
today.
yesterday.
Oh, no!
That's so
Yeah.
depressing.
I have to
Um,
check to see if it's on there still.
I don't know. I just think Del Toro, like, he's a good idea guy, but I
Yeah.
feel like he just never really pulls it off in the way that it should be done.
I mean, he pulls it off to his own ideas.
He needs
It's
to
Always
be.
Sunny is gone.
No,
Ugh.
no, he needs to. Del Toro needs to be the story by guy, like story by
Yeah.
Guillermo
Yeah.
del Toro, written and directed by someone else, like
Mm-hmm.
you know, like
Yeah, he
Yeah.
comes up with the idea.
I'm gonna say this is kind of taboo for me to say since I'm a hoe for the DC movies, but that's
Sure.
kind of how I feel about Zack Snyder. Is that like
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
love his visuals, but he can't make a movie when it's like a big universe that he's doing.
Yeah, I actually feel like I think Whedon really balanced out Zack Snyder really well in Justice League. I really felt like
Yeah.
I don't like Zack
There were a
Snyder.
couple
I don't
things I
like
didn't like of
Yeah.
Whedon's.
I don't like Joss
Like-
Whedon really individually as a director. I don't really like his writing, but at the same time, I feel like they just balanced each other out very well. And joining us is our favorite boy, Connor, Dr. Woozy.
It's your boy.
Thanks for being late.
Swear to God, if some
What
of the
is
audio fucks up.
happening?
No, I got it this
That
time.
was a lot of sounds.
This
lot
is
of
the
sounds.
special guest that we were talking about for episode 10.
Oh yeah.
It's Connor.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'll see myself out. That's fine. It's been
Oh.
great.
Yeah, I showed up, and then Chelsea's ready to go, and then, I'm here.
I mean, you did show up. We're an hour in, so it's probably almost time to
Yeah,
go.
you're probably only going to be here for like 5 minutes, but at least you're here.
Yeah.
Well, I would have been here a half hour ago, but my family was like, no, we have to go take pictures at another location.
Ugh.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, I need to shoot a new Christmas card when I go home, but I've got an idea.
You got a vision.
It's going to be the
Full
it's going to be
nude.
the next in my Murdering Santa series.
Oh boy.
What?
I feel like
Have you
that
not-
needs some
Have you not received my Christmas cards before?
You've never sent
no,
me a
I don't
Christmas
think
card.
so.
Oh.
I got
made
your one from
Christmas
Britain,
cards.
but
Like, I have a Christmas card where, like, there's a crowbar, and in the background there's, like, boots, and I have spilling out of Santa's sack, like, all this nice stuff. Like, I have, like, Tiffany jewelry spilling out of the sack, like, a string of pearls, like, a bunch of wine, like... And it's, like, the implication of the picture is that I knocked out Santa and stole his sack of goodies. So the thing is, it's like, are you naughty or nice this year? And then this year, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get a bear trap, and I'm going to stick it in our fireplace, and I'm going to have me in front of the fire sipping wine in pajamas, and I'm going to have, like, a little piece of paper that says, you are permanently on the naughty list. And it's, going to continue
Oh.
that little series. Or it's going to say
That's
naughty
awesome.
list, and it's going to say Jenna on it or something like that.
Yeah. I like that.
All right.
nice.
Do you
Okay.
have you like saved them online or anything?
The pictures?
Yeah.
I think I have them somewhere. I don't know though. I think my mom has them or something. I don't think I have them on my computer. Let me see. I don't know if I saved the photos. I think I just...
Yeah.
So what I
I'm
missed?
gonna whack my cat by the
Oh.
time.
What?
Oh,
I mean-
damn.
I mean, Connor, you literally showed up like it's literally about time to go. Like
Yeah, literally, like, me and
God
Chelsea are
damn
both
it.
like, we have to head out.
Yeah.
yeah.
I was supposed to meet my friends for dinner at 6:30, so yeah, I'm a little...
Yeah. Yeah. I have to be ready for a Christmas party by 6:30.
Oh.
Yeah.
Holy
Oh.
shit! This
Nice.
cat is going to get axe kicked.
Just like a really quick before we wrap up. I saw Disaster Artist
Just no
yesterday.
spoilers. No spoilers. No spoilers.
I won't spoil.
I need to find out on my own if they actually make that movie or not. And do not ruin that for me.
Does Tommy die?
Yeah. Does he make it to the
yeah.
end?
Oh man, I'll just say like, I've always been more towards the James side of the Franco brothers.
Gross. Wrong. That's incorrect.
But
it's inappropriate.
I'll just say that Disaster Artist, like, both of them really shine in their own unique ways, and it's beautiful.
No, I'd bounce on Dave any day.
And you
Dave reminds me of a guy that I went to high school with that I
wait
don't
a
like.
minute. Are we
so
talking
I
about
just
the best
can't.
Franco?
Yeah, we're talking about which is the superior Franco. This is the
James?
perfect thing to end
James.
on. No, Dave is the
James
superior
is a bit
Franco.
of a perv,
James is,
but
I
Dave
mean,
looks
who
too much like a
isn't?
guy I went to high
Overrated.
school with.
He's overrated, and he seems like he's probably real pretentious in real life. Dave is
Oh, yeah.
sexy, and he's bite-sized, and you guys need to see the Funny or Die sketch that he did where he wants to bang a chick, but the cat keeps watching.
Oh,
That was when
Oh.
I knew I loved Dave Franco.
I
I
will
just
say
can't
that
stop.
He's a
seeing
snack. He's a
The
snack.
high school guy I went.
I like him because I saw his ass in that one movie with Zac Efron, and
Oh,
he was
you-
banging
you
that
s-
one chick.
you see
So-
a lot of James ass in this movie. I'll just
Well,
say that.
Good.
Well, that's not Dave though.
Yeah, we're talking
But-
about Dave Ass. We're talking about the superior Franco right now.
I will say, Chelsea, that you'll probably like Disaster Artist, especially since James, like, the whole movie, you barely see James. You just see him as Tommy.
Well, yeah.
And,
That's good.
like, he sells it so well. And then there's just Dave being young, hot Greg.
I got to meet Greg Sestero
It's pretty great.
last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
Oh,
I
damn.
went to, with some work friends, we went to Master Pancake, which is this thing they do in Austin, like, kind of where they talk through a movie and make jokes. So we went to Master Pancake, the room, and then Greg Sestero was like surprised guest, and he did that with them. Like, he
Oh,
got
man.
up there and like made jokes, and his were the best because everybody else was like making like really crazy jokes, and then every once in a while he would just like kind of come in with like a little tidbit where he's like, yeah, this is the part where like this is the part where Tommy said this, or like every single thing that you see in this was the 42nd time that we had done that, something like that, and it was just
Oh my
fucking
God.
hilarious. It's real nice.
I will say to everyone listening and people here who are going to see it, make sure you stay after the credits
Okay,
because there is a post-credit scene.
of course there
To
is.
set up the Wiseau cinematic universe.
Oh my god.
I won't spoil anything.
I think a good story to finish on is that last night, Connor,
Yes.
was it like he was on Discord and he was like, "Oh, so the Disaster Artist is the prequel to The Room, right?" And I was writing a paper, so I wasn't really looking at Discord, but I remember I saw like a specific comment and I looked at the argument and I just went, "So you're fucking with us, right?" And I was like, we still don't know. Like, he said he wasn't, but
I'm about 90% sure
Little
that
apprehensive.
he was serious until we started calling him an idiot, and then he was like, "Nah, I'm
Yeah.
just messing with you guys."
yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty sure that's how it was.
Yeah.
No, I was joking the entire fucking time. Why would I think that a biopic is a fucking prequel?
Yeah.
No, it's on brand for you.
It's the fucking. That's the joke. It's the joke.
I like how Connor's here, like, just for long enough to get shit on.
Fuck this. I know. I hate
Connor,
it.
you're the joke.
God
Oh,
damn it. It's my brand.
Oh man.
It's my brand.
Yeah.
We've established some real serious brands over the past hour and 12 minutes.
I know,
We really
right?
That's
have.
true.
I'm really excited to go listen about it because I wasn't
Yeah.
here.
It's fun. It's real fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Thank you
Well,
for
I'm proud of
coming
us.
to.
Thank you for having
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's-
Thanks.
Thanks for being
Thanks for
our
coming.
first guest.
Ah, suck it, Max.
This is true.
Yeah, Comically Offensive, episode 10, and we already have a pretty
Woo!
awesome guest, so that's
Episode
going to be,
10.
Yeah, thanks for responding to our
Remarkable.
DMs.
Of course.
Yeah.
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 It was really fun.
Call out to
Max.
Max.
Max
Yeah.
responded to the last thing I sent him, but it wasn't about this.
Yeah, I
Of
talked
course
to him
not.
about I talked to him about some games recently, but that's about it.
That's cute. Yeah, if you offer him something free, he'll respond real fast. Funny
Yeah.
how that works.
He finally followed me after 2.5 years.
Wow,
Yeah. Literally, Max was the first person in all of Let's Get to follow me on Twitter.
Yeah.
I think it was like Max and then Woozy.
I think it was
Oh, yeah.
because something happened, like, they were like, alright, do this and we'll follow you. And I did
Yeah.
it, and you guys followed me, and I was like, hey.
Aw,
But I don't really post a lot, so it's not
what
like
a beautiful origin
Yeah.
story.
I'm clogging up the feeds.
Yeah, and then I think it's like 1 month, and it'll be Jen and my 2-year anniversaries.
Yeah,
mods.
2-year anniversary is mods.
Oh, that's
Way to brag
that's
about it.
cool.
Hell yeah, OG.
I
Shout out
know,
to
right?
Connor being the only person here who isn't a mod.
I'm still fucking salty about it. I could have been the first. but
Woozy,
no.
aren't you a mod on my channel?
No, I
Yeah.
am, but like,
I mean, that's
So
dead
it's not
though,
good.
right?
No, wow, fuck you.
you never stream anymore.
I miss Super Serial
I'm-
Gaming.
Well, okay, because much like John Ralphio Saperstein, technically I'm homeless. But like when I
No.
get stuff set back up, then yeah, I'll
Chelsea.
stream. What?
You gotta stream the new Life is Strange.
I do
Yeah.
want to do that.
That's,
Please.
that's what you need to do.
I
Please,
lost
please,
my
please.
Elgato.
If you don't, I will cry.
Okay, I'll stream it.
I actually meant to ask you about what you thought of the trailer about that and how just, like, straight they made it. And it was like, because
Wasn't
everybody
it-
thought that Rachel and Chloe were together.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
they,
not?
they kiss though.
Yeah.
But, like, the trailer
they-
focuses on their friendship. The
I
trailer
mean-
is, like, following the story of these two best friends. And I was like,
They
alright,
definitely
way to
kiss though.
heterosexualize it a lot.
Definitely kiss.
You know what? You know what I hope they pull? I hope they pull like, oh yeah, no, they're friends, and then like it pulls like everybody
And then
in. Who's
Smash
like,
cut to
who's
them
like,
scissoring.
yeah, exactly. It's like,
And then it
everybody's
gets
like,
no blue is the warmest color.
Hell yeah.
everybody.
I
who's,
mean,
like,
it pretty
super
much was always
homophobic,
blue,
and
so
it's
warmest
like,
color.
and then they pull this shit where it's just like, oh yeah, no, they've been dating for like 3 years after the events of this thing. And
Yeah.
then the people
Damn.
who are homophobic are like, oh what the fuck, and then they just like throw
Connor.
the disc out. What?
Connor, Rachel dies though.
Yeah. Spoiler
Really?
alert for
Fucking
Life is Strange, which
spoilers?
came out like
Okay.
3 years ago.
It's for the original Life is Strange.
But you don't. Time shifts and everything.
Oh.
Well,
Real quick.
Just time travel.
Connor's Corner.
Yes.
Since it's almost Christmas, I had one. There's this band I like called The Regrets, spelled Regrettetts, and they did a cover of All I Want for Christmas Is You, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, check that
I'll
out.
check it out.
Hell yeah.
They're kind of like punk-ish, but not like all full punk. But they're fun.
That's cool.
Yeesh.
I don't want to make any promises too early, but I'm working on a year-end album list that I'm trying to put out.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
shit.
Top albums of the year. So
Gonna
look
do
forward to
some,
that. Hopefully I'll have it done by then. There's a fucking ton of albums I got to go back and re-listen to.
The,
Not gonna
Gonna
lie,
do
thought
some
you-
Grammy predictions and all that.
Not gonna lie,
Yeah.
thought Connor was saying he was gonna put out an album.
I know, right?
Yes.
It's
I
like,
did too. He's like,
whoa.
I'm about to drop
Coming
my
soon to
fire
you.
album.
Amazing.
Connor's dropping his SoundCloud mixtape.
Connor's Quarters CD Deluxe.
I did make a remix some time ago and sent it to Connor recently, but we can save that for another
Yes,
episode.
we shall. Mainly because I still haven't listened to it yet.
So
yeah,
this is why no one likes you.
That's fair.
Jacob,
I'm
you're
sorry.
my only friend here.
I'm sorry, Connor. I love you.
It's like that Vine. This is why mom and dad don't fucking love you.
Oh, yeah.
I love that one.
I want a divorce.
Oh.
Alright.
Well, thanks, guys.
All right.
One last
Yeah.
note.
One last
Thank you
note.
all for joining us
Yeah,
on the Comic Offensive podcast. Next
Yeah,
time
we'll
will
put
be
a-
right before Christmas, and I will tell you a fun story about a
Ooh.
game I'm playing
boy.
called Whamageddon.
That sounds fun. That
Oh.
sounds cute.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so tune in
Get
next
into it.
time to hear about
Hell
my
yeah.
adventures with it, because, man, there have been adventures with it so far.
Real quick though.
Yep.
Oh my
Fucking,
god.
fucking Andrew Lee Potts followed me on Twitter, and he played Connor Temple in the series called Primeval.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Oh. Who's
Kind
that?
of where I get this name.
Oh.
It's like a
So
time
you're
travel
just dying
dinosaur
a little
series.
bit right now.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That was the day that the behind the scenes trailer came out for Jurassic World, and when Carnotaurus was confirmed for the series, so I kind of nutted. Yeah, not gonna
Oh.
Oh, wow. Okay.
lie. All
Yeah,
right,
he's
but
he's 18.
Thanks,
he can
guys.
say that.
That's
it's true. I'm 18 now.
Okay.
Thanks
All right.
everybody for watching.
See you all next
Thanks for
time.
Yeah,
listening.
thanks
Thanks
for
for listening.
watch listening. Shout out to all the deaf people.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
All right,
Bye.
bye.